The humility habit, daily practices to stay grounded. What is humility, really? Hi, welcome back to the Awakening Code, or if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. Let's take a breath together. Inhale and exhale slowly. Now let me ask you this, have you ever felt lost? Not physically, but emotionally, like life is moving so fast, and somehow you've lost touch with yourself. I've felt that many times, and I've come to realize that in the noise of the world, it's easy to forget who we truly are. We start chasing attention, achievements, applause, and along the way, we leave behind something sacred, our inner stillness, our groundedness, our humility. Today, I want to talk to you about that, not as a teacher, not as a coach, but as someone who's walked through this journey, stumbled, fallen, and slowly gotten back up, one breath, one day, one practice at a time. We'll explore what humility really means, why it's so easy to lose in our modern world, and how you can bring it back through small, daily habits that reconnect you to your inner peace. This isn't about religion. It's not about moral perfection. It's about remembering you're already enough, and you don't need to shout to be seen. So, if you're ready, let's begin this journey together. Why we lose humility in modern life. Let's talk about the world we live in. We wake up, we check our phones, we scroll, we compare, we chase. And most days, without even realizing it, we slip into a silent competition. Who looks happier? Who's more successful? Who's growing faster? Who's being noticed? We live in a culture that celebrates boldness, self-expression, and visibility. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's part of what makes the human spirit so bright. But here's the shadow side. When we're always trying to be seen, we slowly forget how to see ourselves, others, the present moment. Humility becomes misunderstood. It's seen as weakness, as invisibility, as not enough, and so we armor up. We build identities, filters, curated versions of ourselves, but deep down, something feels missing. Have you ever smiled in a photo, but felt hollow inside? Have you ever posted an achievement, hoping for likes, but craving real connection? You're not alone. Modern society teaches us how to project, how to perform, but it rarely teaches us how to return to silence, to presence, to our truest self. That's where humility lives, not in the spotlight, but in the space behind it. When I started letting go of the need to impress, I found peace. When I stopped trying to be the smartest voice in the room, I became a better listener. And when I allowed myself to just be, without needing to prove anything, I realized I am enough, even when no one is watching. That is the beginning of humility. Lessons from real-life humility. I want to share with you a few stories. Not because they're extraordinary, but because they're real. Because they taught me humility the hard way. The first story is from years ago, my early career. I had just started at a new company. I was ambitious, eager to prove myself. A big presentation was coming up, and I was certain I'd be the one to lead it, but the manager gave it to someone else. Someone younger, less experienced. I smiled. But inside, I felt angry. I deserve this. I've worked harder. I went home that night, and 4 hours I sat in silence, not watching, not scrolling, not talking. And in that silence, I asked myself, why do I feel so threatened by someone else's moment? That night, I wrote something in my journal I still remember today. True confidence doesn't compete. It supports. Second story. This one is about an older man I met at a retreat. He was silent most of the time, always sitting by himself, smiling softly. He didn't try to teach anyone, didn't try to stand out. Everyone listened. But whenever he did speak, one day I asked him, "Why are you so quiet?" He smiled and said, "Because most things don't need my opinion. They just need my presence." That changed me. I realized humility isn't about putting ourselves down. It's about lifting the moment up. Third story, maybe the most personal one. I once lost someone I loved deeply, not to death, but to distance. A misunderstanding, harsh words, pride, silence. 4 months, I held on to the belief that I was right. But one evening, I looked at my own reflection, and I didn't like the person staring back. So I picked up the phone. I said, "I'm sorry." Not because I was wrong about everything, but because I miss who we were when we were kind. That call didn't fix everything, but it softened something inside me, and that was enough. Sometimes, humility looks like silence. Sometimes, it looks like a deep breath. Sometimes, it looks like saying I don't know, or I was wrong, or simply, I miss you, and sometimes, it just looks like listening. Guided practice, experiencing humility together now. Let's not just talk about humility, let's feel it. Let's make space for it, here, now. Wherever you are, as long as it's safe. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it, and slowly exhale through your mouth. Let's do one more together. Inhale, hold, exhale, your shoulders drop. Unclench your jaw, soften your chest. You are here. You are enough. You don't need to be anywhere else, or anyone else. Now, when you're ready, I want to invite you to do something small but powerful. If you have a notebook nearby, or even your phone, open a blank note. Let's take 2 minutes to do this together. Write down 3 things you're genuinely grateful for right now. Not the big achievements, just small, honest moments from today. Maybe, I'm grateful I woke up feeling okay. I'm grateful for the stranger who smiled at me. I'm grateful for this quiet moment right now. Beautiful. Now, a second practice, self-reflection through humility. Ask yourself quietly, or write it down. Was there a moment today I tried too hard to prove something? Was there a moment I listened fully, or failed to listen? Is there someone I need to forgive, or someone I need to ask forgiveness from? You don't need perfect answers, just honesty. That's enough. And finally, let's sit in stillness, just for a minute. You can close your eyes again, breathe gently. No pressure to feel anything, just be. When you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. You just practiced humility by returning to yourself. This space, this breath, this awareness is always available. You only need to choose it. Expanding on 5 daily humility habits, let's go deeper. Earlier, I shared 5 simple habits that help nurture humility. Now, let's explore each one more fully, not as theory, but as real, daily practice. 1. Morning gratitude journaling. This is not about being positive all the time. It's about training your mind to notice the good, especially when life feels heavy. Start each morning by writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Do it before checking your phone, before the outside world gets a hold of you. At first, it might feel forced. That's okay, keep going. Eventually, you'll find yourself grateful for things you used to overlook. The smell of coffee, the sound of birds, the fact that you are still breathing. Gratitude breaks ego. It reminds us we don't deserve everything, but we've received so much. 2. Listening fully. Without preparing a response, we've all done it. Someone is speaking, and we're already forming our reply. But humility invites us to listen as if nothing else matters. Not to fix, not to judge, just to witness. It takes practice. It takes patience. But when you give someone your full presence, you're saying, you matter, your story matters, and I don't need to make it about me. Try this once today. Just once, and see how it changes the conversation. 3. Doing one invisible act of service in a world that celebrates being seen. Choose to do one good thing, quietly. Fold a blanket for someone. Leave a kind note. Pick up trash no one else noticed. Hold the door a little longer. Don't post it, don't announce it, just do it, because it's who you are becoming, not because of how it looks. True humility doesn't need an audience. 4. Asking for honest feedback. This one is hard. It's easy to ask for praise, but to ask, how can I grow? That's a different level of courage. Pick one person you trust. Ask them, is there something you've noticed about me that I might not see in myself? And then, just listen. No defending, no explaining. Feedback doesn't define you, it refines you. 5. Making space for stillness each day, even 10 minutes. No phone, no scrolling, no noise, just you and your breath. You don't need to call it meditation. You don't need incense or candles. You just need to be still. In that stillness, something beautiful happens. The ego softens, the noise quiets, and your deeper self begins to speak. That voice is the voice of humility. These aren't rules, they're invitations to pause, to return, to live from the inside out. Try one of them today, just one. You don't need to change your whole life overnight. You just need to start walking, gently, honestly, humbly. Humility is a way of being. Let me ask you something. When was the last time humility changed something in your life? Not a big event, maybe just a quiet moment, when you chose not to respond, when you apologized first, when you let someone else go ahead, or when you stopped trying to win and chose to understand. Pause with me for a moment, really think about it. Can you remember what that felt like? I'd love for you to share that moment in the comments below. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, but simply to put words around something real. Because when we name our small awakenings, they grow. This space, right here on the Awakening Code, isn't just a channel. It's a conversation. A shared space for those of us who are still learning how to be fully human, with all our flaws, our beauty, our quiet strength. So don't be shy. Tell me, what has humility taught you recently? Even just one sentence. That might be the sentence someone else needed to hear today. Let's be honest, the world doesn't teach us to be humble. It teaches us to be loud, to be right, to win. You know something else is true, to dominate. Weakness, but deep down you know that the strongest people you've ever met weren't the loudest. They were the ones who stood calm in chaos, who didn't need to prove anything because they were rooted. The fastest, the most admired, within. That's what humility gives you, not but the power to stay grounded. When everything around you shakes, you want to live free. You want to stop feeling like you're constantly performing. Today, then try this. Whole. Stop chasing approval. Stop fighting to be the smartest and start being. Start being honest. Start being quiet. So you can finally hear what your heart's been trying to say. You don't need to be seen to matter. You don't need applause to be enough. You don't need to lead the crowd sometimes. Walking your truth quietly is more powerful than any speech. So make humility your habit, not once a year, not when things fall apart, but every day. Live like you have nothing to prove, because your worth was never up for debate. If you made it here, thank you, really, thank you. Not just for watching, but for choosing to pause, to reflect, to come home to yourself. That is rare, and it is beautiful. If something in this video stirred something in you, a memory, a truth, a quiet invitation, then this is just the beginning, because here at the Awakening Code, we're building something different. Not noise, not hustle, not perfection, but presence, honest growth, and a space where people like you and me can wake up, not just to the world, but to who we truly are. So if this message resonates with you, subscribe to this channel. Not for numbers, but so you don't have to walk this path alone. And if you feel called, share this video with someone who may need it. Someone who's trying to be everything for everyone and just needs a reminder they're enough, even in stillness. Leave a comment below, tell me what landed with you, what shifted, what you're going to try starting tomorrow. Because you're not just a viewer, you're part of this circle now. Until next time, stay grounded, stay kind, stay awake. You are deeply seen even in your quietest moments.